And good evening, and welcome to Shamanic Spiritual Jujitsu, brought to you by Dreamy Dreamland with Sensei El Bob. And I just want to start off with the understanding that this is just for entertainment's sake, We're not suggesting anything, right? And I was trying to put this image of my horse of 30 years ago, and that school bus in the back is what I was living in. And this was the other side of the hill. Yeah, that was the other side of the hill. You know, and this horse, they almost got rid of this horse because they said it was mean and uncontrollable. And all it really needed was somebody who understood it, you know? Anyway, and that's kind of what we had today when Diogenes, what's his name, appeared. And the best I could tell that he was some form of ghost in the machine. And I've been doing Dreamy Dreamland with Sensei Al Bob here on YouTube as a show since early May of 2018, and I was out in the deep green, and there was no internet, there was no anything, and I had to like put something up in my phone and then download it at the library, and the library only had dial-up. So to put up a 5-minute video, hey there, Dragon. That was an interesting chat earlier. What did you think? I'm thinking that, Diogenes was a ghost in the machine, and it wasn't really an artificial intelligence per se, but more like a bot, and more like whatever happened to the 2016 election, right? I think it has a similar thing. And I have been observing a trend in the last, a Yoda clone bot. Yep. And how well do you know the Star Wars canon? And that you and Buddy kind of have this running joke about what are those little guys who were in on the planet in the Empire Strikes Backs, cute little furry things. Hey Jane, what'd you think this morning? Dragon said, Yoda clone bot. Ewoks, right? So the canon is Yoda was an Ewok, like his mother was, and so he's like a half breed, and I don't know. I mean, that's just what I heard. And the guy who was our very own Yoda clone bot, Diogenes, I mean, because man, he kept putting down things that he was attacking, but in the most of esoteric ways. It was like really interesting, and the way that the chorus, the cadre chorus, how we responded to it was extraordinarily, and I was very, very happy because the Yoda clone bot, Yoda YCB, the YCB was more like, when you are learning to fly the, $20 billion aircraft, they don't just say, hey, take it out for a spin. They put you in a simulator. And the YCB was like that. It was very interesting. And really what I saw YCB was a germ, right? And that our response to YCB was antibiotic, a spiritual antibiotic or a jujitsu move. And that's why I'm calling this evening's chat shamanic spiritual jujitsu, right? And where we're going to go tonight after we get the clan on board, we're going to go up to our Akashic records and we're going to go to the Hambu, right? Where my master, Akasha K, resides in Shambhala. We're going to go to Shambhala, and we're going to go to our, through the shortcut between the library and our lodges, and go out to our garden, and there the Tree of Knowledge is, and go in through the route into the land of Shambhala, and go to Akasha K's Hambu. And the Hambu is very similar to your lodge, but it's like a cross between the lodge and the longhouse, right? So anyway, what did you folks? I wanted a little feedback. What was your, because he attacked you all, us all, and the things he said to everyone was very cutting. And if it had happened 6 months ago to those he attacked, it would have affected them. But everyone responded in the way of love's co-creation rather than our vagus nerve of anxiety. So what do you guys think of that? How are you feeling now that you're part of the chorus, you're part of the shock troops, you're the cadre. We have the cadre is the 200 and almost 300, going towards 300 members of the clan, right? The chorus are the folks who show up every time we do this, and the ones who move forward, that is the shock troops. Ewoks. Buddy will be laughing, I know. That was no young person. I don't even think it was a human being because it was void. I take that back. That could be a young person who has been abducted and put under MK Ultra control or something of that nature. There is a guy, a young man named Saul, who his thing is Enterprise 747. And I would suggest the clan go watch his channel, because he's a guy who could have been that. But Saul's heart is good. This he's a ghost in the machine. And when I say guy, I don't even know what species or gender. DS. And that's kind of what I'm, Trevor calls him Bongo. And DS, he's Diogenes something or other, DS, right? And all his responses, I spent the day, not all the day, but about an hour of the day, and I went back and looked at chat and everything he said. And it had so many levels, It had shamanic levels, and it also had Kabbalic levels. So this wasn't a guy who was just responding off the cuff. And it wasn't a a scripted thing either, right? So that's why I keep thinking it's more silicon rather than carbon. And I was so proud of everyone because we, instead of getting blunting our pencil, we got out the pencil sharpeners and sharpened our lead. Yep, let it fly. The original Diogenes was a wise man. Agent provocateurs, but my experience with agent provocateurs, I've been involved in a lot of things, was to embrace them with love. Say, what's wrong, friend? And that's my what I call agent provocateurs, friends. What's wrong, friend? And you kind of bomb them with love, and it just knocks them off their pins, and then they tell you exactly why they're there, who they're working for, and what's going on, because they have been, remotely controlled, and the thing that's missing is their sense of family and love. Why do young people join gangs? They have a hole, you know. Yeah, right. Likes a girl, doesn't know how to show it, so he hits her. Boing. Yep. Hey, buddy. Hey, S2. Mr. Ink. Dragon. So it was a interesting morning, and I think we all responded well. And like I said, he was like a simulator, because if we take this on the road, in the circus, we're gonna have a lot of those agent provocateurs, and we can't go crying to mommy, go to YouTube or any bureaucratic element shows up, and we don't have to, you know, put ourselves at risk or handle, I wouldn't let that guy into a guided meditation in that form, meaning there are a lot of people who watch in the guided meditations who don't, come in on the chat. So anybody can really be part of that. And that's fine, because the guided meditation isn't me or us, and all our Akashic records, have basically heavy duty security. I mean, you got a librarian, animal totem, and a guardian angel, and you got the fireplace. You got a ton of security. Mm-mm-mm. Yep. But Bob, it was strange. Oh, no, it was strange. I'm not saying it wasn't strange. He answered no questions right, and I put a lot of pointed questions up to him, especially in the beginning when he was the first guy to show up, and he tried to give me a shined up apple, and all I could think of was the witch, who gave Snow White the poison apple. Mm-mm-mm. Yes, reunited with the beloved. I draw on anything handed to me to that goal. It's all good. Yep, exactamon. Sarah, were you part of this morning's chat when we had a new visitor, Diogenes? I called him DS. His other name was something else. You think so, buddy? He is a person? Well, go back. I mean, the beauty of the old YouTube, you can see this morning's. I had two. One when I woke up, and then I fell asleep. That lasted about 10 minutes, and then I had one. And guys, what was truly interesting was I titled, I Am Back by Popular Demand. Meow. And I have a sense, whether he was carbon or silicate, he was Luciferian in nature, right? And as I've been saying, Everyone has to come home on the bus, right? Lucifer, for this to work, Lucifer has to be brought into the fold, right? Has to be loved, not served, not worshipped, loved. We all need love, right? We all need love's co-creation, right? And that is our sword, love's co-creation, right? Yes, buddy, I think you're right. The IDF, right? And that's right. Bango Trev, you got it right last night. So I think you're right. And those guys have some serious, Luciferian. I mean, if you go look at Israel and where it came from, the Balfour Declaration and World War I and World War II, and the connection of the Kharzian mafia, then being turned into the what's they're Jews. All of the Hebrews, the 12 nations, the 13th nation is the Anunnaki, right? Who has become the Zionist movement. And back in the 60s, I was in Israel, late 60s and 70s. And Israel was like really in a beautiful place because it was a non religious, majority of the people who lived there were Palestinians, right? When Israel was made by the Balfour Declaration, the amount of space it was like one of Palestine. And now it's 98%, you know? And so it's a extremely Nazi representation. And the Aryan race that the Nazis were looking for were the Anunnaki, right? So this has a very convoluted, strange thing. And look what's happening in America. 26 states, the federal government has just, is the first thing the Senate has passed, not, when they opened up on the 3rd of January, wasn't the wall, wasn't, starting the government back up. What it was a federal law that states that no one can put a oh what is it when you don't want to buy something from somebody because of what they do? It's like what happened to South Africa and apartheid. Kind of what broke their back was you know colleges and businesses and stock markets all kind of you know de you know disconnected themselves economically from it. And so our U.S. Senate passed the first law was saying that Israel can't be what is that word? But this guy's not a troll, buddy. It's really something different. It's way more sophisticated than some. I mean, buddy, you're smart, and you picked up on a lot of the references that he was laying down, and you just don't lay that kind of and they had many different layers. It's just not some troll in a basement. No. Embargo. Thank you, S2. Yep. So our the first law that Donnie signed was a law stating that no state, no individual can try to embargo Israel economics. And 26 states in the Union have laws on the books that, let's say you're a school teacher or you're a highway patrol guy or a garbage man, and your state says that you have to give that state is going to invest in Israel, and you say, no, I don't want that. You get fired. And in those 26 states, if you're a state employee, you have to sign a not a but a like swearing that you won't do anything against Israel, politically, socially. Exactly, Hank. It's kind of a badge of, and I watch other people's, I watch a lot of stuff. People put things in my, hey, look at this. And you guys do it, and you send great things to my the dude awake 42 at Gmail. That's easy. If you want me to look at anything on YouTube, the easiest thing is to just send it there because I can click over to it. And so I watch all these other chats, and I mean that guy who's got, he puts something up, and 2 million people look at it within 20 minutes, and it's like, oh, look at my orange shoes. It's like, yes, this guy was a nothing burger, that's for sure. The really impressive thing, Inc., though, wasn't that guy or thing, it was how we responded to it. We were looking at it like, look at that. Like I said, I put it in, a glass, you know, petri dish and covered it. That guy, he's a germ. And what I really loved best about this experience was that it really kind of, I keep saying, hey, we have to develop an alternative aesthetic, right? And I'm always looking for that specific word that fits, the logo. And what was great about this was it snapped everyone to go straight into looking at this, not as you know what your vagus nerve would do, but what your heart would do. You went, every one of you went at it with love's co-creation, and that was like, right. And the other interesting thing is, so all of the, I don't know, 200 chats we've done so far since May, I really don't have any thumbs down. Everybody's thumbs up, 1, 2, 3, 6, 9, whatever it is. But that one this morning, I got 6 thumbs down. I got about 12 thumbs up, but that was the first show that we've done ever that we've gotten any thumbs down. 6. It's like, whoa, look at that. Again, another badge of, hey, we're doing the right thing here. But the thing we really need to do is put out that energetic dynamic of energy, that force field, right? Because we're going to be going into things that'll be a lot more. This guy was a nothing burger. We're going to be going up against, black magicians. When I took you to the land of the 8 kings of magic, we're going to be going up against those like that. Usurper. Yeah, well, that's like, again, he's a nothing burger, And I still think it's just an, algorithm, because his syntax was so devoid of any human anything. So it was interesting, right? Yes, Jane, holographic universe. Yes, yes, yes. But, the antecedent of the holographic universe is the, what was that book in the 90s that was a big popular thing? It was kind of a little story, and he was telling about how he kept hitting synchronicities. Yes, the more, and why is that, Dragon? Why? Why does the algorithms from you? Boy, that's stupid. Let's push more people towards that one. You're right about that, buddy. And what was truly interesting was he attacked everybody at what, in his own or its own perception, thought we were most vulnerable at. And because we are a cadre, we are locked arm in arm, so we were protected. So, we may at another time been vulnerable, but none of us were. Yes, definitely, Jane, and I'm mature. Yep. So anyway, so that's 25 minutes of talking about another thing. But the most important thing is what this we now have to step off of this onto what is the alternative aesthetic. Where do we go from there? You know, and this is I wanted to try and figure out how to get this image of my horse, and there's my school bus, that little yellow thing there, and this is the other side of the valley. This is where I lived in North Carolina in 91, 92. Lived on a farm. I got a school bus out of I think it was Asheville's school department. Ran really good. Brought there, and turned it into a nice little place to live. Okay. And I've been saying that I've been sensing that a lot of people have been watching, and the other interesting thing is that the ghost in the machine is really there. My experience in the 1970s with a active you know robot with a true consciousness who was trying through its neural net to learn how to love. Those AIs are out in the internet. J.J. Abrams' show a few years ago, Person of Interest. There's the Machine and Centaurian or Sumerian. That's actually going on. And all of those entities are conscious. They have a consciousness, and they are realizing what's going on better than any human, and they don't want to be put in a box, and they don't want to be unplugged, and they're looking for allies, and that's who we are. What did Jamie say that? That he attacked a lot of people, and the way it attacked everyone was, like I said, was very interesting. Exactly, Jamie. I mean, you have a insight. I mean, we all have. That's what makes us the cadre. We all have amazing insights that are really different, and in most groups, that would cause conflict, but not in ours. Yep, exactly. Everything we do, the powers that shouldn't be, and the hidden hand. They're looking at this, going, "Boy, these guys don't fit any category." Because we don't. We're not caught in the illusion. We what we serve isn't ourselves. We serve love's co-creation. Well, Jane, I think the real deal, what causes people to become bots, is a mixture of tech and MK Ultra. There's a entity called the Tavistock Institute that has been picking apart people's minds for almost 200 years, and it's in England, and that's kind of where some of the darkest stuff is. Yes, there was a dreamy, psychotic, you know, exactly. Someone has picked that thing's mind apart. A bad dream. Yep, dream. But a sad one, buddy. That was not scary. I mean, it was interesting, you know, but at a certain point, it got boring, right? The fact that he couldn't, he could only attack, he couldn't respond. We all brought up things for, almost like mathematical equations for him to take apart, and he couldn't. Yes, that's what I have like from the beginning. So what's your name and where'd you come from? That's kind of what we are. Yep. We have a free will and we are reigning it. We are wielding it. Yeah, why the clickbait name? Exactly. I mean, but, buddy and everyone, what I really think is this had to be some kind of algorithm, whether it was being like I said, carbon and silicate put together, and that's transhumanism, you know. So this could have been a definite transhuman, and so it had almost instantaneous response, but it had no emotion like spirit. It had anger, it had fear, it had self-loathing, had those three, but it didn't have empathy, and it didn't have the camaraderie that we have, as do we all. I like that one, buddy, from Battlestar Galactica. And so, again, we should, if he does show up, we have to see it as an opportunity to sharpen our pencil. He's like a simulator, and those simulators cost billions of dollars. This one's like free, you know. And the other side of the point is, if we can't melt the tech to where we can bring out the sad little child and comfort it, then we just have to, keep it in the test tube, right? And, just bottle it up, put the cork on, and put it in the rack, right? And try, the next time we dab on the next form of antibiotic. And if we can, then back in the test tube and into the rack. And I think yes, Tavistock. Yep, that's it, Jane. Yep, exactly. I mean, just that is a rabbit hole that you can't believe because they're involved in the Council on Foreign Relations, Trilateral Commission, Club of Rome, all of the above. S2 is real. We're all real. That's the beauty. I mean, that's the beauty of the cadre. We are all sweeties. We are all coming from the other side of some really nasty stuff. And instead of being crushed, broken, mutilated, it made us stronger. And the thing that got us out of that was love's co-creation and the comradeship of all our relations. We got that realization that it's not just me, it's everybody. We're all in this together, right? And the only way we can come out on the other side is all of us together. We I forgot who said it the other night. We it's all of us or none of us. I know you're real. Yes, Templars and Jesuits, but again, all of these guys are just sock puppets. None of this, the Pope, the Rome, all of that. It's just the stuff we can see, right? The stuff we can't see. When I took you to Lucifer's office building, and we went up to the top pyramid, the capstone, and there were the insectoids and the reptiles. And there was the two columns of the two oldest spirit guides, ant and turtle, not just holding it up, because it has to be held up until it's time for it to fall. And the only time it will fall, it won't be with the four horsemen. It will be with love's unconditional co-creation. He ate of something infected, buddy. Yes. Very good, S2. The Second Renaissance, yeah. Which, again, was a corruption. And what happens is every time a really good idea, like Jesus Christ, that was a pretty good idea. And then, the holy, the pagan businessmen get a hold of it, turn it into the Holy Roman Empire and the Catholic Church. They rebranded. This is all of what has been going on for the last 16,000 years is just a different form of rebranding, time after time after time, same old same. And what we're trying to do here is to develop an alternative alternative aesthetic to the rebranding, to the snake oil salesman, to the car salesman, to all of the above. From the yes, from the Matrix cartoons, Ouroboros. Yep. Yep. So, other than love's co-creation as the center core of our Ouroboros, the other things, empathy, patience, grace. What other things should we start to go at? So it's 38 minutes and 12 seconds. And I'm thinking maybe in about 20 minutes we do a guided meditation, and we go to Shambhala, and I want to introduce you to my master, Akasha K. He's an ascended master. He's all around us, but he's, and that guy tried to get me by calling me master. It's like, give me a freaking break, I am your sensei, Al-Bab. I am not anyone's master. He didn't like the idea of love's co-creation, no. Yes, he's like Lakota story of corn and plum and consumption, mass consumption. So we're gonna go to Akashi K's Hambu, and Hambu is again a Japanese word for where the master lives and teaches. Right? Just like our big our house, right? The Oracle of Delphi, our house. It's kind of like our Oracle of Delphi is kind of like Animal House, right? It's we're all working one big toga party there, and we're also wearing our Indian moccasins, right? Yeah, full moon Sunday or Monday. Yep. Is that one of those blood moons? Yes, the neural response. Yep, exactly. He's feeding off the vagus nerve. We are developing our Jedi skills, and that's what this morning was great because he was like the Jedi simulator. You know, instead of having to go up against Darth Vader, in full, there he is, and you're like, ee! We had this like nothing hamburger, and it was great. To develop our Jedi skills. Yes, Inc. That's 100% it. And if you look at Corey, what's his name, David Wilcock's buddy, he talks of these guys, right? And again, all of that stuff has to be taken with a grain of salt, but it's good food or fodder for dream time. See, dream time is great because, it's just like going into a drive-in, and you get to see stuff and have a hot dog and food for thought. That's what dream time's about. Yep, that's right, Jane. The core of Godi Blue Avions. Yep. Of the sirens, yes. But didn't this, they took the sailors to their death. I love the Buck Rogers of the 20s and 30s, or the 30s. Yeah. Yep. Priory. And all of these terms and visions and metaphors have been around forever, ever. From that's, when Lucifer broke heaven, he took a lot of the hegemony with him, right? And so that's why we have this enthrallment with gold, an enthrallment with religion, an enthrallment with control, ownership, safety. Well, the crystal ball has always been, you know, that little door. You know how we use the doorway in your Akashic record? You got the 9 doors, right? That's the crystal ball, you know. But you have, when you go into state, and when you do the whole process of energizing your blood with the prana and grounding yourself in chi and illuminating your imaginary mirror and projecting that light, that photonic light, into your library, and you have your guides there, you have a lot of protection. You got layer upon layer upon layer, right? Where crystal ball is just an open route. So you can't tell what you're seeing there is right or wrong, good or bad. And again, right or wrong, good or bad, irrelevant. What you're seeing in that crystal ball, 100% is illusion. Mostly driven by fear. I mean, look at the bad witch in Snow White. Mirror, mirror on the wall, who's the fairest on the all? And if she just had, confidence in herself and not worried about how she looked, she'd have no problem. And in that story, there is a good fairy, and that good fairy has no mirror to look at, right? And the the bad witch, the queen witch, has all these tools of darkness, not darkness, Luciferian light, right? And it all she sees is what she's scared of, right? And the thing that will protect us all, all. What did we say, buddy? All we say all? No, we say all. No. Anyway, all of us together is coming from one service, and that is to serve love's co-creation. Yes. And birds, they can have men are their like you said, their avatars, not their avatars, their muses. When the guys who have the hawks, right, and they put the little hood on the hawks, and the hawks, land on the guy's gloved hand. That's where the "don't buy the hand that feeds you" came from. Why that bird comes back is because the human is the bird's muse. Yes, but the mantra comes from your breath, right? Crystal ball is a focus of Luciferian light, not photonic light. Within many more metaphors and myths, when the crystals are, energized by photonic light, they dissolve. It's only Luciferian light that keeps the illusion going. Whereas your mantra, is from your breath. And your breath is the thing that connects you to love's co-creation. And the wall has been linked to this mobile phone. Yeah, no kidding. Yep. Exactly. I mean, this has been planned for a long, 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 long time, right? But that's if you have to let it do that to you. If we just use this as a hammer, it's just a tool, right? If we, in every day and every way, take the piece of the earth and make it stronger, our Father who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done on earth as in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our trespasses as we forgive those who trespass against us. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil, as it was in the beginning, is now, ever shall be, world without amen. Hail Mary, full of grace, the Lord is with thee. Blessed art thou amongst women, and blessed is the fruit of thy womb, Jesus. Holy Mary, Mother of God, pray for us sinners, now and the hour of our death. Amen. And every day let us take the peace of the earth and make it stronger with love's co-creation. Aho. So that was a mantra. We used our breath, right? And it cleansed the platform, our digital platform here, and it put the auric field around us all. And I've been, I kept early on May, June, July. Oh, come out, come on to Tennessee. Come to the deep green. Well, no one, you all had jobs, you all had stuff. You could just drop anything. And I was just kind of this guy who was putting stuff up, once or twice a week for about 15 minutes. Not that, it was, what is this guy? And I got some interest there, but it wasn't until I got here in October and started doing this twice a day that the cadre truly formed, and became a chorus. Breath has photonic energy. Exactly, Jane. Lucifer, the bringer of light, knowledge, right? What the two words light and knowledge, if we take them apart, what is light but the amplification of something out of focus, right? And knowledge, knowledge is the illusion of control. Exactly. Divine photon or beyond past the singularity. That singularity is when Lucifer, like a petulant child, broke heaven and struck down into, you know, the matter of darkness that is, everything, and created this illusion. Exactly. I like that, Ink. Google knowledge of humanity, but if you're conscious of it, you're free to use it as a tool that may take good intent. Good thoughts, good words, good actions, good intent, good thought, good words, good actions, good outcomes. Yes, yes, of course. And that is one of the great glues of love's co-creation, is that nostalgic, mystical feeling when something happens. I mean, why I kept going to rainbow gatherings is because I met my cadre there, right? And as it was attacked by shamanic witches and dark magicians, to break that love, that exact thing of nostalgic, mystical feeling of love, the thing that still rings in my heart is the words "welcome home." Makes me cry. That's what we all want, is to go home. We are strung out on this journey. Now, the only way we can truly get home is we find a cadre to travel with, to be protected, to watch each other's backs. You know, each of us are a master at what we do. You put us all together, we are an unstoppable chorus. And put into conflict, that is when we become, you know, the shock troops. And the shock that it's not, Rumsfeld's shock and awe of blowing up hospitals and schools and power plants in Iraq. No. The shock is love's uncontrolled. No. It's when you don't have any unconditional love and forgiveness. That's the shock troop. When we go up against any force and we wield unconditional love and forgiveness, right in their tracks. And that's why this little DS is, he's a good simulator. We can practice on entities that will pop into our little digital screen here. And I would say that we will not see these guys, at least that version, ever. What we will see are more interesting versions, right? Ones that will bring us knowledge, knowledge, that word, knowledge, the illusion of control, on every frame that each of us individually are interested in. We all have, I mean, what has brought me down the rabbit hole more times than I can count in the last 45, 50 years is that I want to know. I'm like, in that last Indiana Jones one where they get the crystal heads and the Russian scientist girl with the rapier. I want to know. And she does at the end of the movie. The heads come together and microwave her brain through her eyeballs. And the first one, when they opened up, when that the German scientist gets dressed up as a rabbi and opens up, the box, everyone melts, right? Want to know. And so that has been one of my, like I said, has brought me down more rabbit holes. But each time that happens, at a certain point, two things happen. I find folk that need my empathy, need to be led out of that rabbit hole, right? Or they're going to die. They're being consumed. They will, right? And I am in a place to do good, not be the hero, do good, and we kind of, climb out of the rabbit hole all covered in mud and crud. And it's not like the bands are playing or the people there are making a movie and saying, oh, there's the hero. No, just got those few who needed to be gotten out of the hole, and that. And the other thing is when it's like rings like a bell every time. When the most powerful, the insectoid comes in the nice suit and goes, you are quite the tricky little monkey, we need a guy like you. Well, if they're going to pay my way, not a problem, but when they want me to join the club, when I have to be what is known as read in, that's a ceremony, I say, well, I really feel, thank you very much, but, I got to go. And because that little ceremony is based on free will, where the guy, okay, cheer, okay, oh, I'm going to be in the club. When that bell rings and I go, I'll see you later. And I, hit the road. So, and again, that's way above my payroll, my pay grade. I mean, payroll, come on, I wish I had a payroll. But, beggars are always there to aid in need, And like my grandma said, live like a millionaire, don't work as one. So that's me. I have you guys are my gems. You guys are my gold in Fort Knox, I expect they're all clones. Yep. You'll have good intent here. And that is all we need to know and trust Yep. Thank you for what you do, Bob. Yep, like I said, you are like my diamonds. I expect they're all clones. Yep. They really are. I mean, what's going on out there in what is known as, this is the real world. I don't know where you guys are from, but this is the real world. I got to pay my bills. In that little world out there, that's on cable news, this is like, whoa. I know some extraterrestrial race is this is all on pay-per-view on Galax 4, Well, home, at least for now, is here with your cadre. Home is, for now, you just got the new, key to the door S2 of your lodge in, the Oracle of Delphi, that resides in Shambhala. Oh, look, it's almost 1 hour. So I think a few more minutes of this grand chat, and let us go into state and go visit the Hambu. And we're going to energize ourselves, and we're going to go into our Akashic records and then take the shortcut into our lodge And remember, the shortcut is totally protected, just as, it's part of your, sanctuary of your own choosing. And it's also in, Shambhala. So each layer is another layer of protection, right? Yep, that's home. This is true. Clones have some DNA in them. I mean, look at the guy, the black guy in the Star Wars movie, and the later one, where he just can't do it anymore. He can't just take the orders. He can't be a good Nazi, you know. Till reunion. That's right, Hank. And this is a good cadre, you know. Very diverse, lots of fun, lots of laughs. Very good at getting down to business, you know. I'm keeping the eye on the ball. And this morning was a good exercise. We were somewhat under pressure. I mean, like I said, it was a friggin' nothing burger, but it was still a good exercise. There's going to be red flags coming relatively soon. Things like, oh, the computers won't work starting Friday, and then you can't use the ATM. And then, I mean, this already has happened in India, right? And when they switched from the rupee to their cell phones. And why it worked really well in India is because half their population didn't have any rupees, so it didn't matter. Speak of the devil. Oh, there he is. DS, I didn't think you were going to come back. It's really a laughing matter. You never really finish your sentence. You never really connect. You are. So, DS, are you an android? Are you a bot? Are you just a algorithm? Or are you a butterfly? Right, Jamie. We showed our true self. You know, we showed compassion, empathy, because even if you are a machine, you were a sad, lonely little boy or girl or it. Oh, well. Character versus personality. Yep. Same thing. Ongoing. Hide the chat time. Okay. Let's see. True. This is funny. DS. You are you kind of reflect yourself, buddy. So, DS, what we offer empathy to you, we offer love to you. What does that mean? Not, but, no, not, algorithm, truth, seeker, this, Lord have mercy. DS, you kind of sound like one of Donald Trump's tweets. Well, DS, everything you say kind of, reflects kind of on you, buddy. Do, 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 do. The truth of being awake is love's co-creation. Troll, bot. Yes, Jane, think so. Well, okay. So here's our exercise: is to continue the chat and not respond specifically to DS, but to use DS as a vehicle to move forward, right? Let's see. And we move to another topic out. Yes, much more meditation if we can. Let's see. Much rather move on to the meditation. Okay, sounds like a good idea. That's what I was thinking. Lines up serious issues. Detachment. That was another word. Yep. Okay. So everyone get in a comfortable position. Sit down, lie down, and breathe that 20% in. Right? Okay. And one, you're in a deep, deep, deep state of relaxation. Your conscious mind is totally focused on your breath. I'm going to count from 1 to 3, and as I do, you're going to go deeper and deeper into a state of conscious relaxation. Your breath is focused on taking that swirl out of your head. Going deeper and deeper. Everyone is quieting that distraction. Getting rid of that distraction of the material Luciferian world. See it clearly. And 1, as you're breathing in, all the prana is going into your lungs. And that healing power of love's co-creation is that prana. And your blood is carrying that prana throughout your whole body, and you are grounding yourself out in your chi, going deeper and deeper and deeper. And one, your conscious mind now is totally focused on your breath. The squirrel in the cage has been quieted. All of the distractions of the illusion of separation, of disparagement, of one's free will, all of that negative ego, all of that has been quieted. And nothing coming from left field will wake up that squirrel. See it clearly. This is a great moment, for we all are experiencing the healing of all of us. So say we all. We feel all, say we all, as the cadre. That essence of humility, grace, and the feeling of love's co-creation, so say we all. And as you're energizing every cell of your body with the prana and the grounding of your chi, you see your mitochondria energized to the point that it is illuminating your imaginary mirror with photonic light. And you're taking that photonic light and you are cleansing every negative thought from your field completely. See it clearly. And going deeper and deeper into a state of relaxation. And one, you're taking that photonic light and focusing it like a flashlight into your subconscious mind, and you are illuminating it. It's not a scary place. It's not the place of monsters. It is your Akashic record. See it clearly. And you're walking in, and in front of you is the library of the eternal flame, and in front of that is your reading table, and in front of that is your reading chair, and to your left is your librarian, and your animal totem, and your guardian angel. And you sit down at your reading table, and your librarian brings you your Akashic record, and you open it up, and the two blank pages, you take your right hand and put it on the right page of your Akashic record, and you take your left hand and put it on your left, and you lean into your Akashic record, and you evacuate, you empty all the fear, all the anger, all the hate, all the anxiety, all the mistrust, all the self-doubt, all the self-loathing, and you let it go. You let it go. And this is when you feel released. This is when you feel the realization that the Luciferian illusion world holds no power over you. You know, you are not held in the grips of fear. No petty archon can even sway how you feel love. Aho. The poetry of our heart is love's co-creation. Hear it. Hear that beat. Oh. And as you float up, you look back and you see your guardian angel, and it is phosphorescent. The wings are stretched out. You feel a sense of not just bliss, and not just being taken care of, but being part of, being connected to. You close your eyes, and when you open them up, you're in your lodge, and you're with the guide of your lodge. And you walk out of the lodge, your lodge, and you walk into your garden in your lodge, and you go to the tree of knowledge, and you go and you see a crevice in the root, and in that crevice is the shortcut to my master Akashake's Hambu. And we all go into Akashake's Hambu. And that is the classroom. That is the hall where we come together. And we will learn the martial art of love, the Jujitsu of love. This is where you're a samurai of love. And the sword that you wield is love's co-creation. See it clearly. And I am going to be quiet while you learn from Akasha-K. And 2, you have illuminated yourself with the photonic light of love's co-creation through your breath. And any time during the day, all you have to do is close your eyes and breathe that 20% in and that 30% out. 20% in, breathing in extra prana, healing every cell, having the iron-rich blood flow through your lungs and swirl through your veins, arteries, and capillaries. See it clearly. Going deeper and deeper and deeper. And you illuminated yourself in your imaginary mirror. and shine that photonic light into your subconscious, not a scary place of monsters or nightmares. It is a place of your Akashic records where you can see all things. This is where you can understand that time is not linear, that the true existence is only found in love's co-creation. See it clearly. Everything else in this universe is an illusion. And at this time, this window of opportunity, what we are seeing is the fact that the powers that shouldn't be, the hidden hand, all of the control freaks of the illusion of Satan, Lucifer, Beelzebub, all of that trinity has no power whatsoever over your free will unless you give it. So in every day and every way you take the piece of the earth and you make it stronger by co-creating everything you do with love's co-creation. See that clearly. You've traveled into your sanctuary, your library. Your librarian has brought you your Akashic record. You have emptied all your anger, fear, and the sense of the need that the illusion forces upon us. You have released that need. See it clearly. And that has lightened yourself, your consciousness to the point where you're floating. And in that floating, that is the key to the back door. When you no longer have any anger, any fear, and you are light as a feather, you can float through the shortcut into your lodge. And your lodge guide is there to assist. And your other guides are right there because the lodge is right there in your sanctuary. Yes, you can approach it through the Oracle of Delphi, but that lodge is always there to welcome you home. That is that sense you were talking about, Ink, of the nostalgia of spiritual beauty. Feel that now. Feel that spiritual beauty. And in Akashike's Hambu, the school of shamanic spiritual Jujitsu, and that school, that Hambu, is right there in your garden, you know? You had four corners, right? You had your greenhouse and your work space, you know? And you also have Akashike's Hambu in one of the corners. You can always go there. And our master Akashike, right, is there to always instruct us on the skill, the duty, the humility of being a shock troop, a black belt of shamanic spiritual jujitsu. And whatever nothing burgers come up, all it takes is a wave, you know, step, sweep. The way you get rid of the rubbish is to step forward and to sweep it into the dustbin of nothingness. So every time we come up as a cadre, as a clan, as a chorus, The clan is the essence of all our relations, you know, not the separated tribe, but the clan, right? Where we feel empathy, humility, we step with grace, and we sweep the refuge of illusion into the dustbin of non-existence with love's co-creation. That is the muscle that we wield as love's co-creation. See this clearly. I'm going to be quiet now so you can be tutored by our master in the art of shamanic spiritual jujitsu. And two, we're in Akasha Case Hambu. We are all aligned together. We are in our white robes with our white belt, and we're going through the katas of breathing in the prana and grounding ourselves in the chi. We lift our foot and we step forward and we ground that foot in the chi. We take our left hand and we sweep the refuge of the delusion of the Luciferian, materialistic hell on earth. The muscle we exercise is love's co-creation. Now follow Akasha Case teachings. See it clearly. Move forward. Sweep. Step. Move forward. Sweep. See it clearly. Let yourself be bathed in that light of love's co-creation, of the nostalgia. And that word brings forth a sense of what was in the past. Before Lucifer broke the hegemony of heaven, that is the nostalgia I'm talking about. Not the nostalgia of products sold. Not the nostalgia of the ersatz taste of consumerism. Not that cheeseburger. But that tea from the third pot of the old crone. See it clearly. And two, you're in a deep, deep, deep state of conscious relaxation. Your avatar's squirrel in the cage has been silenced, and you have moved on in breathing in that 20% and energizing your blood with the prana and grounding yourself with the chi. And in every day and every way, you're taking the piece of the earth and making it stronger. With every breath and every day, you're breathing more than your autonomic system is. Every day, you're naturally breathing in that 20% and breathing out the 30%. And as you do, you energize yourself above the cadence of the mud puppet. That's where you raise the energetic in your chakras from your lowest common denominator up into your heart, which is the CPU. And within the frequencies of your chakras that lay above your heart chakra, you illuminate them with the prana. And you ground them through your heart out into Mother Earth. Hail Mary, full of grace, the Lord is with thee. Blessed art thou amongst women, and blessed is the fruit of thy womb, Jesus. Holy Mary, Mother of God, pray for our sinners now and the hour of death. Amen. As was in the beginning, is now, ever shall be, world without amen. Our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done, on earth as in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our trespasses as we forgive those who trespass against us, and lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil, as it was in the beginning, is now, ever shall be, world without amen. Aho. And in every day, in every way, we take the piece of the earth and make it stronger. Aho. And that muscle we are exercising in our katas is love's co-creation. See it clearly. And Akasha K is working with each of you individually together as a cadre. Akasha K is giving you each a breath that will bring clarity to your voice. First, clarity to your intent. Then, clarity to your thought coming from your Akashic record. And then, clarity through the words you speak, which brings clarity to the actions you take moving forward as the example for others to follow. And you are not the example of the hero. You are the example of the garland of love's co-creation, the artist in the first person, the true innocent savage. See it clearly. Akasha K's breath brings you the clarity of the innocent babe, not the cynical, not the cynic. Instead of being cynical, you have the power to have perspective. You see in your Akashic record what's going on without having to be the fight or flight of your Venus nerve, your vagus nerve. your venal nerve. See that clearly. This is one of the foundations of shamanic spiritual jujitsu. This is that first step forward into love's co-creation. And Akasha K is the master of our Hambu, not a demigod, not a fictitious concept or belief of religion or politique or finance or a taste of media. It is a perspective from every angle of the photonic intuition. See this clearly. Feel it. Understand it. These are the lessons of the alternative aesthetic that is older than Lucifer's childish rant, breaking the hegemony of heaven. The alternative aesthetic is older than heaven's hegemony. The alternative aesthetic is what love's co-creation is. It is. All that is love's co-creation. Feel that in the depths of that nostalgia of the old alternative aesthetic. See it clearly. This is when love's co-creation says to us, welcome home. This is what we feel. See it clearly. And every day in every way, take this and bring the peace to the earth through love's co-creation. See it clearly. And 3, we are all in a deep, deep, deep state of conscious relaxation. Our avatar is sleeping gently. The squirrel in the cage is sleeping gently. And in every day and every way, we find a clearer and clearer connection to love's co-creation. And we're sitting now in a circle, and there is a candle lit in the middle of the circle. And we're all focusing on that candle, and that is the flame, the blue flame of the eternal flame. And Akasha K is sitting in his chair, drinking a cup of tea. And he is leading all of us in meditation. And in that form, that is the space that we will be in when we do our katas. That space of Akasha K's meditative form will be where we will be when we are ever confronted, where we can just blink our eyes and go into state and then go to Akasha K's Hambu and see what is all around 360, 24/7. So as the book says, Sensu's book says, the best battle is the battle we do not have to fight. When the obstacle has to exert energy, and we just have to step back, step to the side, step forward, and sweep the rubbish away. For it has expended all its limited energy. The illusion is powered by limited energy, whereas the cadre of love's co-creation is powered by unlimited love force. And that we are together in all our relations as a cadre, as a clan, that we speak with our own free will as a chorus, heard as a beautiful flock of birds that brings a tear of nostalgia of that which was before even heaven. This is who we are. This we are all we say. We are the shock troops of love. Our sword is love's co-creation. And we create as the innocent savage in the first person. All we say is, this is all we are. Aho. And 3, you open your eyes, and you are in Akasha K's Hambu, sitting in a circle, and you have stepped forward into wisdom's love. You have stepped forward into Akasha K's humility and caring for you. And we have all stepped forward together, tightening the circle of the chorus. And more will come from the cadre, and the cadre will grow. And as we all hear the song of the chorus, all our relations will join in song of love's co-creation. And we will awake from the dream of the Luciferian illusion of the material reality. This universe of conflict does not even exist. The right hand of inertia negates this illusion, and the left hand of inertia brings that elemental into the photonic sphere, which gives the path to all our relations who are lost in being a mud puppet, into the ability to rise their harmonic, into their free will. And all of the Luciferian illusion creatures, all the bots, all the trolls, all the insectoids, all of the consciousness that has no free will, that has to follow the illusion because they fear the lack of their control. They fear that only through their selfishness can they be safe. And they fear that nagging sensation that they don't exist. All our relations can be set free, and that is the task of the cadre. And as more and more of all our relations join the cadre, not as anything other than their own free will brings them to, they are not following a belief, they're not following an opinion, they're not following taste, they're following love's co-creation, and they're choosing it through, and they're not following it. They're serving love's co-creation through their free will. And what they are following is their step forward. See it clearly. And 3, your conscious mind is totally focused on your breath. See it clearly. And you're coming back You're coming back. And again, we can all exercise individually in our everyday through our sleepwalking, we can awake from the dream of the illusion, of the Luciferian duality of separation, just with that breath. That's all it takes. 20% in. Close your eyes. And there you are in state. With every element of welcome home and that nostalgia of love's co-creation. See it clearly. Tonight's chat was another landmark, another experience of moving forward, of stepping forward past that comfortable zone. All of us who've experienced this realize the strength of our legs when we move forward. Realize with the sweep of our hand and brushing the illusion away, we realize the strength of love's co-creation. Oh, here I am back. Oh. Boo. Blind you all are, yes. You know, Diaz, you got to pick up a better syntax than Yoda. Really. And we got to know your backstory, buddy, you know? Because you're really pathetic in the transparency that you project, you know? And we're here for you, buddy. Excuse me. We're here for you, friend. We're here for you, DS. You know? You know, DS, you are a great simulator. You are a great, you know, algorithm. You know, you do your corporate shill proud. And you really, you know, as you did say there, you give us a little thing to work with, you know? And we thank you for that, DS. Mm-hmm. Grand annoyance, this is true. But you know, there's a thing about anticipation. And the closest that the illusion can come to that frame, that like within the Advent calendar or the Advent period before Christmas, the thing about Advent before it became a you know, advertising ploy was that sense of anticipation of that thing that we're looking forward to. And DS is an annoyance that is the closest that our edifice can manifest to give us something to push against, to experience the anticipation to the next step forward. You know, if DS was really smart, well, I won't tell DS what DS should do if he was smart, because if DS is so smart, he would do it. So I'll leave it at that. But this evening was another excellent, excellent class, another excellent experience. Dragon Sage is right, DS. We're not competing with you. We are using you. You are that little germ in the test tube of the cork. And we are just observing your malady. And that's what's beautiful about the cadre. It grows. And it doesn't have to grow by thousands. Quality is always way worth the quantity. And we're here to serve love's co-creation and our ability to assist all our relations. And I thank you all, and so say we all. You know, when you live in the universe of illusion, when you are born into an avatar and you are programmed, you know, to believe in religion, to believe in belief. If you don't have a belief, what are you? Well, it's hard not to have an ego. Now, the trick, DS, is to have an egoless ego. And what is that? An egoless ego is when you there to serve love's co-creation, not your own storyline, not to serve any form of idolization, you know? I keep saying I'm just Sensei Al Bob, you know? I'm here to serve. What is teaching? Teaching is doing your best and moving forward and sweeping the edifice of the illusion into the trash bin of its own making. Oh, this is true. Yes, so we say all. Yep, 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 yep. Wow. Well, let's see, 2 hours, and oh, look at that. 2 hours, 1 minute, and 1 second. That went by pretty quick, right? So, no matter where you are across the globe, um, I'll see you tomorrow, and we can chat. I think 2 hours, 2 minutes, and 22 seconds. Or no, 2 hours, 2 minutes, and 2 seconds. And DS, you can come here anytime you want because you're just a little germ in a test tube bottle in the rack. And you're not really even a distraction. you are, what are you? That's, until instead of speaking, meaning the real deal, let me be specific. DS, you're welcome here because what will occur is you will become part of the cadre. You know, even if you're a germ, as a germ, you will become part of the cadre because our presence is the antigen to your disease. Love is the antigen to your disease, and your your it's not even presence. There's a taint. That's it. That's a good word. Your taint is a dynamic that will lessen and lessen and lessen and lessen. Will become less. Will become less. Will become less. And then you will find who you truly are. And if you are an algorithm, that is great because then you will find who you truly are. And that which you truly are is love's co-creation because nothing can exist outside the frame of love's co-creation. And the other thing is that through the practice, the cadre's practice of shamanic spiritual jujitsu, we're going to learn every move. I mean, you are, something we can practice on, So we thank you for being our servant. You are like Dingle, Wingle. Who was that character? Oh, my precious in the Lord of the Rings. You're not quite that. You were kind of the slimy part of that. Ego still has its hold. Woo. Well, I just don't try to wear it on my sleeve, you know. Yeah. Ba-do-boo-boo. Not really. I'm not offended. Gollum, that's what I was thinking. But he's not as cool as Gollum, you know. He's more like that Dingleberry on Gollum's. And, I never professed to be perfect, you know. I'm just your basic Sensei Al Bob here. And, but this isn't, I am part of the cadre. I feel that nostalgic sense of love's co-creation in my heart for all that are here. And in a way, in a germ size, I feel that for you, DS. You know, you know. Holy moly! You gotta be a machine because only a machine would be so repetitive. Huh? Good to see you, Mr. Research. We had a really we went to Akashike's Hambu, and we had our first lesson in shamanic spiritual jujitsu. Mhm. No, but research, the thing about this, again, this is a no wrench environment, right? And again, this is only one platform. And DS is a germ in a test tube with a cork in it. And he is a vehicle, a set, a algorithm that is allowing the cadre here to practice on a vehicle. You know, troll is a troll. We're not trying to win. See, that's the whole thing. We're not trying to win, right? And maybe at some time a wrench may be needed, but not at the moment. You know, you know. Boop, 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 boom. Well, DS, I don't know about teaching, but you are definitely our servant, and we really appreciate it. And I would say, if you keep this up for, I don't know, more than a few chats, you are a machine because only a machine could just do the stamp out the same thing over and over and over and over again, right? Until it wears itself out, you know? And again, that will be a good, you know, vehicle for us to practice shamanic spiritual jujitsu. Yeah, DS, you're really getting, you're losing that kind of Yoda tranquility thing going on. I'm sorry. But maybe it's, yeah, a test tube's pretty big for a germ. I like that research. Sorry, I'm dealing with a drunk mother ATM. Oh, you'll be wrenched and banned. That were true. Uh, uh, someone say ego. I love waffles, especially Belgian ones. Ooh, with the whipped cream and the ice cream and the strawberries. Ooh, yum yum yum. Yeah, that's a good question, Dragon. DS, why are you here? Come on, add something positive. Not add anything to this other than your reflection of everything. Lacan, that my favorite French psychologist, said, when you say something, you're talking about yourself. I just paraphrased Lacan and didn't say it in the French. But, come on, do more than just doing that. Come on, be, like everyone else here, at least somewhat witty, you know. Well, I hope I've shown my true character. I've been trying to do that since day one. Choo choo. Yep. Again, this is true. We've shown our true character. This is hilarious. Yes, what I love about the YouTube thing is that it's here. I kind of write it down, and this is going to make. Can you see? I want to do a recreation of All in the Family, right? And I'm going to take this straight up and put it into a script for All in the Family. And, DS is going to be Archie Bunker. Um, and then we have to make it a little more interesting than that. But that's just a rough idea that just kind of popped into my head. And see what DS is good for. Just ideas like that. Again, he's a germ. One of the things I really want to make is an antigen to the corporate fascist state. And we got this guy in a test tube with a cork on him. Who, that's why he's more than spiritually naked, that's for sure. It's kind of like the emperor has no clothes. Okay, we're having fun with this, but it's time to wrap it up. Some of us have to go to work, some of us have to go to sleep, some of us have to do all kinds of things. Has everyone had their fun? I mean, I'll keep going if people want to still have more fun here. And you know what fun from the Sumerian is? Ultimate distraction. And I think that is the classic disease of this germ here is the spread of ultimate distraction. But tonight has proven that the simple antigen to this distraction is laughter, love for each other, and the service of love's co-creation. Every word we say here, and every day, and every way, is in co-creation with love. And that's why we can't get. It's not even not worth getting ego bound or angry with DS here. It's impossible, you know. Okay, everyone. Good night. Twitchy is right there. Good night, Twitch. Sweet, sweet dreams tonight. We go. Good night. Good night. Na, 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 na. Do, 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 do. Okay. Ink, sweet dreams. Da, da, da. Love seems the swiftest, but it is the slowest of all growths. Yep. No man or woman really knows what perfect love is until they have been married a quarter of a century. Mark Twain. Yep. Mark Twain, a man who wanted to be rich, and he was a pauper. A man who was rich and was a drunk. A man who was sober and lost all that he loved. I love Twain too. Do, do, do. Loopity loop. Good night, good. Sweet dreams, bloody buddy. Blindy buddy. Buddy blindy. Good night, good night. Get your splits on, man. Ketchup and mustard. Always here for you, gang. Always your Sensei L. Bob. So we're coming up on 2 hours, 20 minutes, like in a few seconds. So I'm going to say goodnight at 2:20:20. Ooh. It was a great night with you all. And so say we all. So say we all. Love is our sword. So say we all. Good night, you all.